I guess I'm on YouTube now. Let's see. I've never done this before. I've never tried to start. I know you guys find this riveting, me talking about what's going on with my channel. What's weird to me also is that the people that watch on YouTube, why wouldn't you just automatically go to another channel? You know, oh, I guess there's no show today. Like, I mean, why wouldn't you just, you know, just switch to another channel? I don't know. Whatever. I know I posted the show late today, so it's all my fault too, anyways. All right, so I guess there's some people watching on coming into YouTube. All right, so I just I don't know. Seems a little weird to me. All right, so if you're watching on YouTube, it's just, the show's kind of late, starting kind of late because everything is gone strange, and I get a little frustrated. I'm getting a little frustrated in general with the experience of doing this show lately. And I think it's because I'm being really heavily suppressed and it's really starting to like bother me on a personal level. Because it makes me feel like I'm doing a lot of work for very, very little feedback. Right? Or I can't, my channel isn't, you know, doesn't seem to be growing. It seems to be shrinking, right? When you work really hard to make something better and it seems to go in the opposite direction, it can be really like, okay, why am I doing this? Anyways, I'm going to see if I can wait for people to come into YouTube. Listen, YouTubers, do I have to tell you how things work? YouTubers, do I have to explain to you how things work? You understand that you are on watching the show on a platform that is, you know, bound to sink the ship of truth. Right? That's their, you know, kind of their MO these days. We're duty bound to sink the ship of truth. For one thing, why are you watching shows on YouTube? For, you know, is it just you're just way too lazy to go to another platform? I know. I'm not making any friends by saying this. But I mean, come on, man. Oh, I want to, you know, I want to shake people sometimes. Why are you watching on this platform? And if you don't, you know, if you don't see my show up, why wouldn't you automatically go to another platform immediately? Because maybe, you know, it's YouTube and not I didn't just show up today. Anyways, sorry. Don't mean to be upset at you. I'm just a little upset. So, if anybody cares, all right, I'm going to get into actually doing a show. But what happened was, I started to do my show, and I realized that I had a strike, and so I had to go figure out what was going on in YouTube. I appealed the strike. They granted my appeal, and here I am. Here I am. And so now the show's. I'm just saying, I know you guys find YouTube totally convenient and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to do Rumble again. I'm not sure. There is a Black Bear News on Rumble. Go over and follow Black Bear News on Rumble. I don't know. Maybe I'll try Rumble. I know there's a convenience factor. So, what happened was, yeah, I'm just saying, for one thing, if you're on YouTube and you watch a show on YouTube and I'm not on YouTube, you should immediately go to another channel and say, is the stream going on over here? That should be your first, I don't know why I have to explain this. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to try and get back on track here. It's just a bit of a roller coaster morning. I'm going to try and not get a strike on YouTube again, but I can't tell. I cannot tell. What it is, what are the rules? I'm not really sure what the rules are. Anyways, I thank you guys for showing up. Let's talk about things, I guess. Let's talk about how the good thing is, I mean, you can Max, you can watch on Twitter or you can listen to on Callin. I don't know if those are options for you. I know Rockfin isn't the greatest for some people. I understand. All right. Something's in the water. Well, then you are you're on it. There you go. You're on it. I don't. Yeah. But I was just saying this yesterday. If you watch a show on YouTube, you eventually prepare yourselves for not watching the show on YouTube. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to change my content, or I'm trying not to change my content. I don't want to, Anyways, I was saying that I feel really demoralized about doing the show lately. Because I think that's what these folks want to see happen, right? They want people to be frustrated with the non-growth of the channel. Or when when it just seems like there's less people listening, when you're working harder than ever and there's like less people listening, it can be really, really frustrating. And I don't even know if that's like real numbers. So, excuse me. All right. I'm going to stop. But this, I mean, these are important conversations because this is, what something that's happening to people who are trying to tell you what's really going on in the world, on the planet. If you want to stay informed, you're going to have to get real, athletic about staying informed. You're going to have to get real, real focused on it. I'm not streaming to Rumble at the moment, Max. I'm thinking about going back, but I'm not sure Rumble seems to be very frustrating. But I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to stay informing people. And it's even harder for the smaller that you are, the smaller the channel, the more difficult it is because it's easier for them to crack down on the smaller people. Right? There seems to be there's even a two-tiered system in not system, but a two tiers in alternative media, which is that there's, a few people who are getting all the views and all, the smaller people are getting squashed out of existence. I can't tell how many people are actually watching on YouTube. I can't tell until I finish the stream. Twitter won't tell me how many people are watching. It just says 0 viewers. Usually it says 0 or 1 viewers, and then after the stream is over, it says, "Oh, there were like this many people watching the show." Yeah, Rumble suppresses people too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Rockfin is the only, for all the troubles people have with Rockfin, like Rockfin does not censor you, right? Okay. You might have to fight a little harder to get to the truth. You might have to put up with some, a little bit of wonkiness to get to the truth. I don't know. But it's hard, it's really hard because when I left YouTube for a long time, might have been almost a year. And I was just exclusively like on Rockfin. I think it was like Rockfin and maybe one other place. And that actually really hurt my viewership as well because people didn't like Rockfin. So they were like, well, I just don't like Rockfin, so I'll just stop watching the show. Which is why I went back to YouTube because I was just doing it on Rockfin and less and less and less people were watching on Rockfin, which was really frustrating. Now, I don't know, this is what I know, that Rockfin doesn't censor people, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting, now I'm so paranoid about censorship. Like, I don't know, it's hard for me to gauge whether I'm getting correct numbers on anything. Steph C says, it says I need to pay on X to chat. Really? You need to pay on X to chat? Yeah. Don't do that. Don't pay on X to chat. But you can leave a comment on the video, right? You can leave a comment on the video. No? Let's try it out. If you leave a comment on the video, if it'll show up. But this, I don't know. I'm rambling about censorship, but censorship is extremely important, right? This video is called "The Good Guys" because it's, it seems like the supposed good guys are really, really just about as nefarious and horrific as you can imagine. And if you find yourself siding with those said good guys, I don't know, I'd probably have questions. Right? But, the good guys are honestly the people that are trying really hard to tell you what's what. Listen, if you have to censor a message, or if you have to censor information, it means that the information that you're pushing doesn't have anything behind it, because you wouldn't have to censor, right? If your information was the truth and true and correct, and was, the good guys telling you good things, there would be no need for censorship, because the truth would stand on its own. That's how it works. So when you censor people, you're basically saying, I insist that you believe this lie or be censored, right? What are they censoring? They're censoring people trying to tell you the truth. And that's the way it always has worked. It's always worked that way. So censoring people for your safety, or censoring people because the misinformation is harmful is means that what you have to, means that your position is not the position of truth, right? And safety and freedom and whatever. Well, Max, I will be somewhere where you can see me. I don't. If I are you saying the only place you can be is YouTube? Gene Whitworth says, I haven't trusted Rumble since they came out hard against the Dems on Ukraine, but were simultaneously warmongering hard with the Repubs on China. Well, yeah, I mean, it's, they're all kind of iffy and spotty. All right. Well, guys, I promise that I think I bored people listening on Colin off of Colin. I know, because I'm just talking about, but these are things that are important to understand what's going on, right? It's fine. All right. So, anyways, that's what happened. I got a strike. I appealed. They gave me my stream back. So there you go. Oh, I see. There's a chat next to. I see Steph C. There's a chat next to the video on Twitter. Yeah. Oh, I got it. Man, I'm not gonna verify on Twitter, and I'm not verifying anywhere. I'm not verifying anywhere. Thanks, William. I appreciate you. I'm not verifying anywhere. No, because that's the big push. I mean, I verify when I do. Why did they strike me? Because I was talking about the vaccine yesterday, and I said, I'm just reading this headline, the vaccines are safe and effective, right? I said, the vaccines are safe and effective. This is just, I don't endorse what I'm reading. And they repealed it, so I guess that's cool. Okay, so, all right, let's do some. You don't want to see two of me, do you? All right, let's go. Let's do this. We'll do a show. I'll stop talking about it. Leon Simons, 12-month average Antarctic sea ice extent. 12-month average Antarctic sea ice extent. This is where we are. He has an expletive to say about that. Scott Duncan, we just observed the warmest November on record for the global average temperature. We can still find areas of extreme cold in a warming world. I'm going to read that again. We just observed the warmest November on record for the global average temperature. Perpetual shadow ban. Bankruptcies are up. Evictions are up. Car repossessions are up. Credit card debt is up. Suicides are up. But this MSNBC regular doesn't understand why poor people refuse to be as happy as he is. %67% disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy. Thank you, guys. Well, everybody who's giving me messages of support in the chat, I appreciate you. Thank you. I know you all appreciate this show. I'm not saying like, I'm just saying it's hard for me to do this show. Because it's just hard. It's just I'm fighting an uphill battle all the time, and I really do put energy and effort into the show every single day. And it feels kind of tough some days. 67% disapprove. But I appreciate you all showing up every day for this channel. I really, really do. I really, really do. There are days that I feel completely, beautiful and vindicated when I do this show. That's a lot of disapproval. They're really, really trying to crack down on crypto. If anybody cares, I care, but a lot of people don't care. I don't usually agree with the CEOs of multi-billion-dollar banks. This is Chris Martenson in response to Elizabeth Warren, who said, "I don't usually agree with the CEOs of multi-billion-dollar banks." Really, Elizabeth Warren? But enforcing anti-money laundering rules against crypto to protect national security is common sense and critical. It's time for Congress to act. She's been the leader in cracking down on crypto. Elizabeth Warren, former champion of the people. Crypto is something that's supposed to be, this is why I like it, is crypto is actually could be transformative for people, but it doesn't work if you don't allow it to work. If you crack down on it and ruin it for everybody, then, yeah, of course it's not going to work. It's kind of like underfunding underfunding public assistance programs. If you underfund them, then they don't work. And then you're like, see, they don't work. It's kind of like that, like crypto. Well, we're going to crack down on crypto. See, it doesn't work. It's bad. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyways. Paul Beckwith, doing great work today. I'm disgusted with Israel for this slaughter. I'm disgusted with Joe Biden for cheerleading. I'll bet you that those buildings destroyed in Gaza will never be rebuilt. WTF is wrong with decent people not standing up against massacre. Exactly. Exactly. Nobody supports this. We're supposed to be the good guys. And somehow we're couching this as we're the good guys, but nobody's really buying it. Nobody's really plunking down their hard-earned sawbucks for this story. Doomer Girl News. Israeli bombardments in Gaza have destroyed desalination plants, wastewater treatment facilities, and water wells. Plans to combat climate change were drawn up based on what was on the ground. There is nothing left. From a headline, Ecocide, how war and climate change are often linked. Tell me more. Ooh, we're going to look at this one. I'm going to come back to this. Nico House, why did the U.S. and Israeli stock markets make over $100 million betting on October 7th attack just a few weeks before the attack occurred? As if they knew it would happen and they knew Israel would let it happen. Wow. Well, geez, what does that sound like? This sounds like another thing that happened where people were making stock market predictions. Sounds like another thing. RFK Jr. posts this: Biden is now threatening to send American sons and daughters over there, if Congress doesn't pass $61 billion for Ukraine. Wow. If Congress doesn't pass, I mean, if Congress doesn't pass $61 billion for Ukraine, will we'll implement we'll restart the draft. How about that, guys? Huh? Let's let's see. Let's listen to this. Should we listen to this? All right. Don't share these tips again.
Defend every inch of NATO territory. Then we'll have something that we don't seek and that we don't have today. American troops fighting Russian troops. American troops fighting Russian troops if he moves into other parts of NATO. Well, we've committed as a NATO member that we defend every inch of NATO territory.
Say what? I thought we were going to wrap up Ukraine. I thought we were wrapping up Ukraine. I guess not. In France, the French farmers are literally throwing manure at government buildings to protest high taxes in the farming sector. This is in front of the DDTM buildings in Quimper to express their general contempt for government trying to squeeze them out of business via taxes and regulation. Yes. Good on you. I actually had really interesting conversation with a French woman the other day who lives in France, and we were talking about the protests, and she was like, "Well, yeah, I'm behind them." It was an interesting conversation because she was saying, she kind of brought up the fact, well, everywhere you go, everybody's having a hard time, financially. Financially, the squeeze is on. And she seemed well to do, she and her husband seemed very well to do, right? They live in France. He's British. She works for a university, blah, blah, blah. Like they seem like they're pretty well off. But she was saying, I'm behind the protests. I'm with him. I'm all for him. She's like, something's got to change. I was like, wow. And in fact, yeah. So it was just, and I'm hearing this everywhere I go. I'm hearing people, talk about how hard they're trying to scrape two nickels together and make a dime. Ooh, we're gonna save this for Rockfin. Okay. We're gonna save. I got something else to cover. I'm not even gonna get close. But before we go to Rockfin, sorry for the weirdness of the show today, y'all. Sorry for the rambling beginning, and I, really, these things happen. What are we looking at here? Well, we'll look at a little bit of, ecocide, and war. The link between climate change and war has been a running theme at COP28. Is it now? Okay. Get out of here. highlighting how many countries suffer from both deadly conflict and environmental disasters. Oh, really? At the UN climate talks in Dubai, war-torn Gaza, Yemen, Syria, and Ukraine have made their voices heard, complaining about the environmental impact of constant fighting. But you're going to have to just take it. Too bad. We're here to free you from your resources. Too bad. Once we get done with that, then we'll worry about climate change. Okay? All right. Ecocide read a slogan in Ukraine's pavilion, which was covered with posters detailing the environmental impacts of Russia's invasion. A display showed the remaining half of a house, one of many hit by the destruction of the Kakhovka Dam in June. Kakhovka. Russia and Ukraine have traded blame for the disaster. The other side of the story is how climate destabilization and a scramble for resources can push climate vulnerable countries into war. Here's an idea. How about ending war? Here's an idea. How about ending war? But what are you talking about? We need to make sure that we're safe and we have all the things first, and then we can, right? It's kind of like, yeah. We're going to worry about this climate change. We've got to make sure that everybody has a fine standard of living before we, really? Okay. I mean, to people who are like, well, I'm worried about me and, getting my stuff. I mean, that would make sense, I guess. It's a tough one. That's a tough one to reconcile, right? Human beings, humans doing, human things, and feeling like they're allowed to do the human things at the expense of, the planet. Right? It's either something called human rights or high level, human supremacy, I guess, if you want. Right? We deserve all this. We deserve to live in a particular fashion. And it doesn't matter what we do to the environment or to animals or plants or living things or the atmosphere or the biosphere. It doesn't matter what we do to obtain those things, because human rights. Humans. I'm pro-human. Right? And the thing is that I am pro-human, but I'm pro-humans living within the confines of the ecosystem. Right? Am I right? And there's nothing more pro-human than a whole truckload of military hardware, or boatloads of military hardware, plane loads of military hardware, going over, all over the planet to go make sure that people stay totally pro-human. Pro-freedom or pro-safety or something. How about we just stop? How about we stop doing that? Humans as a collective we could actually do that. We could actually do that. We could just be like, no, we're not doing it anymore. Nope. No, we're not doing it. No, we're not playing the game. And the problem is that we're going to have to do that pretty soon. We're going to have to do that pretty soon before they have enough robots to kind of like send into, send a robot to your block in order to make sure that you keep doing the things they need you to do. Or, make sure that you do not protest the doing of the things, right? So we could actually stop all this. We could. We have the power. We have the power to do it. We just don't think we have the power. So, a good thing to do would be to figure out how to take back your power. And there are multiple ways to do that. I can't even get into the myriad ways in which you do that. Conflicts contribute a lot to increasing the suffering of citizens through their impact on environmental resources in general and water resources in particular. Golly. These people are insane. I can't even read this. Why do I even try? Why do I even read these stories that are just so bombastically ridiculous? It's all about making sure that everybody can get the stuff. That's really what it's about. Animated video Beyond the Reset. No, I have not seen it. I haven't seen it. Beyond the Reset. I'll watch it. I'll check it out. Let's see. Ooh. You know what, guys? Okay. After all that is being said, excuse me. After all of the things, that went on today, I'm back on YouTube. I was off YouTube for a second, and now I'm back on. And thanks, YouTube. Appreciate you. I'm going to jump off of YouTube and go to Rockfin and cover a few things before I leave, okay? So if you would like to come on over to Rockfin, check out those things with me, that would be great. If you want to support the show, here are some of the ways you can do it. blackbearnews.com or buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. Cash App at Red Llama Music, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, PayPal.me at Kevin Sandbloom. You can Zelle me at Kevin Sandbloom at Proton Mail. Dert Kerm. All right. So, YouTubers, see you tomorrow at the regular time. Peace out.